going on, good people? This is P9 coming at you guys with another vlog, and I finally, after 2.5 years of running this channel, made it to the state of Texas for my first official Texas vlog. I am here in the city of Texarkana, Texas, which is really a city that is located in 2 states. So we're going to get a vlog in Texarkana, Texas, and a separate vlog in the state of Arkansas to be balanced. So without further ado, let's get into it, shall we? Now, I'm standing right outside of the federal courthouse here in Texarkana, Texas, which is a city that is populated with 37,333 residents on the Texas side and 30,259 residents on the Arkansas side. But for this vlog right here in the nighttime, or early morning I should say, we're going to start things off in Texas. So this is the only federal courthouse in the United States that is located in 2 states simultaneously, and it was built in 1933 in Beaux Arts style architecture. So yep, this is the federal courthouse, and it also functions as the U.S. Postal Service post office. So yeah, this is the State Historical Survey Committee, if official historical Texas medallion. And it currently only federal office building to straddle the state line, present Arkansas and Texas state boundary, established in 1841 by the United States and Republic of Texas, passes through the center. Each state had separate post offices until 1892, and when the first joint office was built on this site, it was raised in 1930, and in 1933 the present structure was completed, and the base is on Texas pink granite, while walls are of limestone from Arkansas. Okay, so the limestone, the walls in the building are made of limestone, which came from Arkansas, and the exterior pink granite comes from Texas. So that's cool that they use local materials to build this courthouse. It's a really beautiful building, as you can see. 4 columns right there, and also they have this marker. I don't know if you guys can see it, but this is of John F. Kennedy, JFK, and he actually visited Texarkana and delivered a speech. You know, when in 1960, you know, when basically they were trying to start a space program here in the States, and he delivered the inaugural address in Washington, D.C. on February 20th, 1961. So he basically, John F. Kennedy came to Texarkana on his campaign trail for presidency in the 1960 presidential run, and asked not what your country can do for you, but ask what you could do for your country. So that's a quote, famous quote from Mr. John F. Kennedy, JFK, right there, 1917 and 1963. R.I.P. to him. And unfortunately, he lost his life in the same state of Texas, but in the larger city of Dallas. So again, there goes the Texarkana, Arkansas, Texarkana, Texas state line sign right there. And they also have a nice arrangement of flowers that sit in front of the courthouse. So again, this particular vlog in this early morning will be focusing on Texas side of Texarkana. And this is actually the state line right here. They have it drawn out, as you can see. Very dope, very unique, interesting layout. And they also have this selfie stand that you could sit or stand and take a selfie right on the exact state line of Texas and Arkansas. So really cool thing right there. But Texarkana was founded in 1873 as a booming railroad hub, and it's a portmanteau of Texas and Arkansas, so it's Texas and Arkansas combined. That's how it got the name of Texarkana. And it was established in 1873 as the junction of the Texas and Pacific Railway and the Cairo Railroad, the Cairo and Fulton Railroad. And also Texarkana is where Smokey and the Bandit actually had a scene that took place in Texarkana. I don't know if you guys, a lot of you guys may have seen the movie Smokey and the Bandit, Burt Reynolds. The scene where they were bootlegging alcohol, it took place right here at Texarkana. I'm a huge Burt Reynolds fan, even though well, let me say this, I only know like a couple of movies. I've only seen a few movies with Burt Reynolds. The Longest Yard, Smokey and the Bandit, of course, and White Lightning. But this brings us over here to the World War I Memorial Park, which technically has an Arkansas address, but yeah, but we'll go with it. This is technically Texas as well. So you have the flags that fly up over here. They have a flag of Oklahoma on the far left. They have the Arkansas flag, the American flag in the middle. And there goes the Texas flag and the Oklahoma flag right there. Again, so you have this statue right here, the sculpture that commemorates the men of Bowie County who served in World War I. It's a whole list of them. Here's some of the colored men, or who they refer to as colored men. I prefer the term black, but or melanated. Kirby Bell, Will Fields, Robert Poole, Orange Rusky, John Tyler, Ed Washington. Okay. So they served in World War I, and they are from Bowie County, which is where Texarkana, Texas side is located. Now here are the men who served from Miller County, which is the Texarkana side of, or the Arkansas side of Texarkana. And yeah, I don't know if you guys can see a lot of this, but you have Elijah Chaplin, Foster Davis, Melvin Hawkins, and Jesse Moore, the four melanated soldiers from Arkansas, Miller County. So yep, that's the structure right there, the sculpture. Really nice right here in World War I Memorial Park. And I'm gonna go over here real quick, and I'm gonna make my way back into downtown, this Main Street portion of Texarkana, Texas. But right here is what looks like a church. This is Rose Hill Baptist Church. Sits right here by this Firestone tire shop right here in downtown area. So it's really at the corner of State Line Avenue and West 6th Street, part of the State Cultural District. So this is Shepherd Park, or World War I Park, whichever one you want to call it. So far off to a good start here in the Lone Star State. This here is the letters for the abbreviation for Texarkana, all glossed out in the different colors. Really nice place to take a picture. And let's see. And here's some information of what's called the Wavell's colony, projected in 1826 by General Arthur G. Wavell, or Wavell, Scottish-born soldier of fortune. By terms of a Mexican grant, he agreed to introduce 500 families into an area on the Red River. Ben Milam, a frontiersman, was agent, and many pioneers were actually bought in, but because Mexico and the U.S. disputed part of the grant, no titles were ever settled by Wavell. Some settlers, however, later received titles from the Republic of Texas, and the colony included virtually all of present Bowie, Red River counties, Texas, and Miller County, Arkansas, and possibly others to the west. So this was a colony here in 1826, way before Texarkana was even a thing. Matter of fact, that was before Texas even became a state. It was still, if I'm not mistaken, under the rule of Mexico. And you had the Freeman Curtis Red River expedition, and at this time in 1806 the U.S. doubled in size with the 1803 Louisiana Purchase from France under President Jefferson. The purchase was based on an 1800 treaty land transfer from Spain to France, and this is where an expedition crossed the Great Raft, and there was a log jam, 14 difficult days. And the Freeman Curtis Red River expedition was to find the source of the Red River map, scientifically describe the area, and establish friendly relations and inform local population of the change in sovereignty. So basically it went it went from France into Spain order. And the French in Texas. So this is some marker telling the history of the French in Texas. Now the cattle people were the original inhabitants of Texas, the Cattle Indian tribe. And of course France came in the 17th century and established what's called the Fort St. Louis colony. So they claimed this coastal Texas area, and Spain claimed Texas earlier, and during the time of La Harpe, this did not discourage the French. They traded far south. So basically the French came over and set up fur trading posts and stuff like that. So that's really the premise of the French in Texas. It's a really nice park. It's another really nice sculpture right here. Of course, is another one of the Confederate statues. So we're going to make our way further into downtown. There goes the St. James Cathedral right there, illuminating itself in the night. Matter of fact, let me go check it out up close. It's the St. James Episcopal Church building. And this is where local Episcopalians met in October 1876 at the Marquand Hotel to organize a congregation. And the first parish meeting was held 1877. And citizens of all faiths contributed funds for the first church building erected on property donated by the Texas and Pacific Railroad. As you can see, that's coming from this marker right here. So the Texas and Pacific Railroad contributed to funds to the building of this historical cathedral or church, if you will. So it was altered and enlarged in 1910 and 1926. So yeah, shout out to St. James Episcopal Church. Look at that beautiful stained glass right there. Looks even better at night. It's a St. James Parish Center. I don't know if you can see it. It's real dark over here. Purchased in May 2000 through the tireless efforts of the Reverend Paul E. Lambert. Now, Texarkana, as you can see right here, this is the First Methodist Church building. So a couple of churches that we see here on State Line Avenue, 4th Street. But Texarkana, Texas, used to be like, this was like for a long time ago. We're talking back in the 1800s. For only a few years, it was the county courthouse was located here, but the county courthouse is no longer located in Texarkana. For over 100 years, it's been located in New Boston, which is not too far from here. And we got this abandoned building right here. Very interesting. Wonder what this is. I see it's like it's a wheel right here connected to a chain. It's like a radiator right there. Looks like a heating system or something of that sort, or hydraulic system. And you have this building right here, which looks like it is a hotel. It's like, or it looks like it's a loft. It's a loft building. Lofts at the Grim. Okay. But if you look at it, it looks like at one point in time it was a hotel. So we're in the Arts and Historic District. As you can see right here. Museum of Regional History. It's the building right here for the Museum of Regional History. Now, the Museum of Regional History was established in 1871, and it is the oldest museum in the Texarkana area. And check this out. Look at one of the designs right here. Is this like supposed to be a tractor? That's really dope. It has Arkansas right here. Has a mosaic by Barbara Dybala. It has some corn and like an eggplant representing the agricultural culture in Arkansas. Wow, they even have a pecan pie recipe right here. I don't know if you guys could see that. Might have to freeze frame it. You got a plate, Arkansas, the Wonder State. Wow, that's pretty cool. Sits right in front of this museum. And we got to get the Texas side. See what the Texas side looked like. At this very location, April 12th, 1861, absolutely nothing happened. Pretty straightforward. This is the Lone Star State side of it, Texas. You know, they have some little memorabilia, and of course, don't mess with Texas. Absolutely don't mess with Texas. Texarkana 150. Then they have a bell. So this is located. This part is called McKinley's Landing, and this is where McKinney's family and a small group of neighbors met together for informal services. So the first disciples of Christ met over here, right where this museum is, right here. So let me go back over here real quick. Now this is called the Offenhauser building, where which houses the museum, given by Josh R. Morris and Josh R. Morris Jr., memory of Fred W. Offenhauser, to the historic Texarkana Historical Museum, December 1970. And this was the first brick structure in Texarkana, built about 1879 for the First National Bank. On the second floor was Kelsey and Offenhauser Insurance Agency, and here in 1883, pioneer businessman F.W. Offenhauser, later a leading agent in Texas and Arkansas, wrote his first insurance policy. So this building was entered in the National Historic Places of America 1971, a year after it was offered up for the Museum of Regional History. Pretty cool right there. This building right here, it looks like at the top, I know it's dark, I know it's night, so you can't really see it that well, but it looks like the first at the top, it looks like some fire damage possibly. But at the ground level, this building once served as the Texarkana National Bank. See some bricks laid out right there. And this building houses the Texarkana Gazette, which is the local newspaper. It's called the Landmark Building. I'm good. I know you guys hear a train. We go to string lights that illuminate downtown Texarkana. Keep in mind, guys, it's 5 o'clock in the morning. I'm out. I did an overnight trip from Bama to Texas. There goes the TXK letters right here. Yeah, we're definitely straddling the state line right here. State Line Avenue. It's a courthouse right here. Looks like it might, I don't know, it might be the courthouse. Let me see. Yeah, it's a courthouse, or all right. Serves as the Justice Center, probation office. I don't think it's necessarily the county courthouse per se, even though it might be like it's not the official county courthouse, but one of the I guess, if you will, annex buildings. Crest Gap. I haven't seen one of these Crest stores before. You know, remember a lot of those Crest department stores back during the civil rights era were like the gathering spots for civil rights protests and sit-ins and stuff like that. As you guys seen in a few of my vlogs previously, I've encountered multiple cities that had a Crest department store. Bi-State Bells Bondsman building across the street. Pecan Point. I wonder what Pecan Point is. It's where pecans are produced. It used to be a beer hall and a brewery. Check out this building. This definitely had to have been a hotel. No, actually, no, it's a theater. It's the Perot Theatre. Yeah, this is the Perot Theatre from built by Ross Perot, you know, the big time millionaire who originates from Texarkana, Texas. Now, this was originally called the Sanger Theater, and it was constructed in 1924 by the Sanger Amusement Company to host vaudeville acts and silent films, welcoming early legends like Will Rogers and Annie Oakland. But in 1931, it was purchased by Paramount Publics Corporation and renamed the Paramount Theater. And then, you know, so it was a prime movie house for decades, and in 1977, it closed its doors because of declining attendance. But in between 1979 and 1980, it was restored through a multi-million-dollar effort supported by the city of Texarkana and the natives, such as Ross Perot and his sister Betty, in memorial of their parents. Now, it was renamed the Perot Theatre in 1980 in honor of Ross Perot and added to the National Register of Historic Places that same year. So, shout out to Ross Perot. Now, Ross Perot, you guys that are unfamiliar with who Perot is, he actually, of course, he's from the area and he's a multi-millionaire. I mean, dude was a philanthropist, all that good stuff. But he ran for president twice, in 1992 and 1996, and opposed Bill Clinton in both of those presidential elections. He lost out to Clinton in both of those elections, of course. And interestingly enough, Bill Clinton grew up in Hope, Arkansas. He was a former governor of Arkansas, and Hope is only 30 miles or so from Texarkana. But yeah, that just gives you a little background of Ross Perot. And he ran as a third-party candidate in 1996 and got 19% of the vote. Now, that might not sound like a lot, but when you think about it, 19% is pretty impressive for a third-party candidate, especially for the first time that's occurred in like almost 80 years prior to the election. But yeah, shout out to Perot. And this brings us to this mural. This mural of the Temptations, and it's really in honor of not only the entire group of the Temptations, obviously, but you have Texarkana native Otis Williams, who's the founder of the Temptations, Emperors of Soul. So there goes Otis Williams holding the mic, got the beard and all, holding the old school mic. And it has the record for My Girl by the Temptations. So it seems as though, I think all of the Temptation members, the original members of the Temptations, have a mural in each of their respective hometowns. Of course you have Eddie Kendricks, who's from Union Springs, Alabama. You have David Ruffin, who is he's from Why Not, Mississippi, which is an unincorporated area in Lauderdale County, but his mural is located in Meridian. And you have Paul Williams, who's from Birmingham. And here's a few of their records. Of course they won multiple Grammys. And you have Get Ready by the Temptations and Papa Was a Rolling Stone. These are platinum records. And there goes Taylor, who's the artist of this mural. It's a very colorful mural right here in Texarkana. So shout out to Miss Darlene Taylor, the Darlene Taylor Murals, and Cone_of a Widow, Colton Barker, and Richard T. are all artists of this mural. So Texarkana, Texas native Otis Williams was born here. He was born to Otis Williams Sr. or Otis Miles Sr. and Hazel Louise Williams. And Dr. Otis Claiborne Williams is known worldwide to be a worthy, talented, and honorable native. And as founder of the multiple Grammy Award-winning single group, The Temptations, who are still setting the bar high for excellence in entertainment with inspiring, uplifting music, founded 4 of the original members, now deceased, and they're depicted on the mural along with Otis. So Otis did a lot of the whistling. You had Melvin Blue Franklin, you had David Ruffin, you had Paul Williams, and Eddie Kendricks, all original members of the Temptations. Papa was a Rolling Stone, my girl, treat her like a lady. Those are some of their biggest hits. But yeah, what's you guys' favorite Temptations hit? Favorite Temptations songs? Comment in the comment section. And this is like some type of sculpture. Not quite sure what it is. It's kind of abstract, but it's nice though. Let's continue, shall we? beauty bar right over here. Beauty bar. And it's just like a little mural. It says Texarkana. It's by Jess W, and that's the social media tag right there. At magic_hat_muralist. It's really nice. Let's continue down this way before I cross the street. Okay, Cafe Lucille. Audio center. So Texarkana has this audio center. It sells audio equipment, stereos, subwoofers, amps, all that good stuff. And you have the Raglan Piano Company right here. Very nice. Norton and Wood building. So again, we're in the Arts District of Texarkana, downtown Texarkana, Texas. And here's a mural of the follower of ragtime, Mr. Scott Joplin. Check this out right here. Really nice sculpture of Scott Joplin, father of ragtime. So for those who are unfamiliar with ragtime music, a lot of that music was way back in the early 20th century. Really, realistically, it was really like the late 19th, early 20th century. But you know, Scott Joplin was a self-taught pianist. He taught himself how to play a piano in different local homes. He sang in local quartets, and he received formal instruction from former European-born music tutor Julian Weiss. And man, that's and it was like a stamp right there, Black Heritage USA 20-cent stamp, Scott Joplin. Pineapple rag, Scott Joplin. Tree Monisha, maple leaf rag. That's actually one of the songs I listened to on the way here, and I recognized the melody when I listened to it. And I also listened to The Entertainer, and I recognized that immediately. Yeah, Scott Joplin was a bad boy on them keys. But yeah, he was born and raised right here in Texarkana. And it's the author or the artist of this beautiful mural is Mr. Art Pletcher. Surface preparation, C.D. Little. So shout out to Art Pletcher and C.D. Little for this really nice mural honoring the ragtime, father of ragtime legend, Scott Joplin. That's a silhouette of him, looks like playing the piano too. So this mural is dedicated to the people of the 4 states region and the native son, Mr. Scott Joplin. Painting and materials donated by Mary Carter, Decorator Center, William and Andrea Lyles. So shout out to all of those individuals there. This building right here is Hotel Grimm, and it has a very interesting history. It was built in 1925 as an 8-story luxury landmark, and it was named after millionaire William Rhodes Grimm. Now, it was a very crown jewel during the heyday of Texarkana back in the 20s and 30s, prior to the Great Depression. But it was built at a cost of $1 million by architects Mann and Stern, and it stood as the city's second tallest building. And it was basically a social hub. A lot of socialites would come and meet here at this hotel. Now, there were a lot of celebrities that passed through here, such as legendary acts like Elvis Presley, Frank Sinatra, and Hank Williams, to name a few. And it was also rumored that Bonnie and Clyde stayed here, but those rumors have been unsubstantiated. Now, around the 1950s, between the 50s and the 90s, this building went under serious decline. It started accumulating environmental hazards and whatnot, and it was just a lot of physical decay. But after about, say, 2020-ish or so, 2010s, 2020 era, this area received EPA funding and basically cleared out all the hazardous materials and underwent a massive historic rehabilitation, multi-million-dollar rehabilitation at that. And it reopened as a Lofts at the Grimm ever since then. So it's a bunch of affordable apartment units while also preserving its 1920s architectural elements, lobby, and of course, you have the iconic neon sign. I don't know if you guys could see it from right here, but there goes a neon sign right there. It says Hotel Grimm. So very historic building right here in downtown Texarkana.